it's an automatic thing for me now, where
Okay.
I'll have like a day off, you know, where I allow myself to do nothing, and I'll say that to myself. Listen, you deserve to have a day off. Do nothing. Spend time with your family, with your friends. Do whatever you want to do. Tomorrow you start again, and I think that's also important as well. You can take some time off, and you deserve time off for all the hard work that you're putting in, right? But then you have to come back. And
Sort of got to
I
make
think-
yourself learn to earn it,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I that's another thing that I've learned, is that you never stop working, and you never stop pushing yourself. You can't anyways. Otherwise, I feel you stand still. So even for me, like I said, I spent all that time practicing and doing all that stuff. I definitely don't spend, you know, as much time with each thing anymore like I did, but I needed to spend that time in the beginning to get to where I wanted to be. But now I still polish up, and I do all of that stuff even still, now that I've reached a point where I'm pretty confident overall with everything. But I'm always practicing. I'm always working on stuff in some capacity, and I think that's important. But at the end of the day, if you love what you do, you just do it because you love to do it, you know? And I think that's part of it for me. You have days where you're like, yeah, you know what, I need to take a rest, but you go back to it because you want to go back to it. And I feel like if you don't feel that way about it, then maybe that's not your passion.
Maybe it's not your thing.
Yeah. And so when people say that to me, like I don't want to do it, like, it's like, okay, well, you obviously don't, you must not love it then, in my opinion. That's because I've experienced loving something so much that, you know, and wanting something so badly that you can't imagine wasting time, right?
Well, except that you wanted it so bad you wasted so much time. Right?
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, it's funny because, again, going back to even though we experience it, sometimes we don't even recognize it.
Right.
Because, like, I totally get it. You and I have both run into a number of people who tell you, you know, this is, oh, I've got this big dream to do all kinds of stuff that it would be nice if you ever got off the couch kind of
Starting
thing.
to sweat now. Sorry.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
I didn't mean to put you under that kind of pressure.
Sorry. Please continue.
But I think a lot of times is even those people, when they say it, they mean it.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of don't know how to.
And that's another thing too. But
Which freaks me the fuck out.
Sometimes you don't know the steps to take.
Right.
Right. And I get that. And I think a lot of people, I'm sure, look at me and go, you're lucky because you have a musical family that has experience and they know what they're doing, and which is true. However, I think the music industry and everything in this world is ever changing. It's constantly changing. It's not all the same all the time. And I think for yourself, it doesn't matter if you grow up in a music family or you don't. If it's something that you love to do, you have to get out there. You have to experience it for yourself. You have to meet people, like I said, and surround yourself with people that know more than you. Try to make connections with people that can help you and be better in whatever it is that you're doing. I know 1,000,001 artists and musicians that haven't had no musical background at all, that have just, they are where they are now. But I've had a musical background, and I'm right where they are too. So it's like, where does that, I don't know. I find it interesting.